How are we doing, guys? ALTV. So this might be a bit of a shock. What the hell is Oscar Marriott doing the Monday Night Football? But at the end of the day, the show must go on, as Joe Wainman would say. Joe isn't available today. He's still in his holes, but it's just a temporary measure, guys. So don't panic. The main man will be back next week. It's a lot of pressure. This. It's like trying to fill in for Ben White as centre back. To be honest with you, you know, when you're filling in for a legend, it is a tough challenge. It is a tough battle, guys. But you know, I'm always happy to accept a challenge. So let's get on with Monday Night Football anyway. But yeah, guys, we're going to insist this is just a temporary measure. The main one will be back next week anyway. So I should have started with Now Then People, shouldn't I, really? I really should have started with Now Then People. Already a poor start, isn't it, to be honest, guys? But, I mean, guys, you know, make sure you keep the comments coming in as ever. Same format as usual. But yeah, Now Then People, let's get on with it. So, comments coming in already, even before I've just gone on. So, yeah, we're going to obviously talk a little bit about the Stoke game. So, Conor's already done the preview. That'll be the only sort of like out-and-out preview before the game. As expected, with Joe still being away, but Joe will be back as normal, so don't panic about that, guys. The main man will be back soon. But yeah, there's no real point in me doing an individual preview, so part of this will be a preview for the Stoke game as well. But guys, what a win! What a win it was on Saturday. It's still absolutely trying to catch my breath from that second half performance, really. I mean, that second half performance was special. Really reinforces the belief in this Marcelo Bielsa team. Absolutely 100%. Not that I didn't have any belief in it. It's just that I felt the first couple of games, I'm just going to charge up what I'm filming with here as well at the same time. But yeah, I mean, you know, I didn't not have belief, but I think that is just, I don't think we've ever really, in this season so far, produced a performance at those kind of levels, really. Yeah, certainly that second half, I mean, incredible. I think individually, collectively, everything was perfect. I think everyone was good on Saturday. You know, absolutely everyone was at least a 7 out of 10. And when you get that, absolutely all 11 players, 7 out of 10s, nice and solid, you're going to win football matches. Absolutely no doubt about that. You're going to win football matches at the end of the day. And yeah, and that's what we got, isn't it? It's 100% what we got. You know, not everyone started the game particularly well, but it didn't matter. The second half performance was much, much, much better, and it was at levels which I don't think many teams could cope with. I don't think many teams in the bottom half of the Prem could have coped with that. You know, I think if you go from Leicester or Wolves downwards, I don't think anyone would have coped with us in that second half. And that's not arrogance. You know, we're not going to play that every week. We're definitely not going to play that every week. But when we do have those moments where everything just clicks, everything falls together, we take our chances, that's what happens. That is the quality this team has. You know, I think, as Conor said, I think footballing wise, we are at the minute the standout team. You know, we've not been necessarily at our very best the first 4 games, but we've shown what we can produce in that 5th game. And I don't think any team in that league can live with us on that form. Well, then maybe Fulham, but yeah, you know, from what I've seen, but I think it'd be really tough to beat us on that kind of form anyway, guys. But a couple of predictions coming in. Infectious is going for a 2-0 Leeds win tomorrow night. Super LUFC is thinking 2-2. Of course, it will go to penalties tomorrow. It will be all decided. But for me, I'll be honest, guys. The result doesn't matter to me tomorrow. The result really doesn't matter to me. All I'm looking for is a performance and the fringe players getting an opportunity. And some of the academy players, you know, Pascal Strauch, Robbie Gotts potentially, Jamie Shackleton. You know, obviously Jamie Shackleton's a bit more established, but I want to see him get a start, which would be good to see. Matthias Bogus as well. You know, really want to see Bogus. You know, definitely want to see Bogus play. You know, I think he was probably one of the stars of pre-season, if not the star of pre-season. I just said the same thing there. But yeah, I do want to see Bogus. Really do want to see him. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't see him against Salford. But yeah, I think the performance is what really is important tomorrow. You know, I think it's a good workout. No injuries to the main players. We do play any main players. No injuries. Just don't burn out. That's the thing. Yeah, I've got a massive, massive game on Saturday against Swansea. It's a massive game. You know, obviously Swansea have been massively impressed by the second in the table. The only team that's took the same amount of points as us. But yeah, it's a massive game on Saturday, so that would have to be part of the thinking for me. But guys, I was going to throw something out there as well. What would your team be for tomorrow? I want to see comments of what your starting 11 will be tomorrow. I'm going to go through mine later on. Just want to see what your thoughts are. First of all, you know, which kind of first teamers would you drop out? Assuming everyone's fit. Okay, Barry Douglas probably isn't going to be fit. But assuming everyone was fit, I'd be interested what your team would be tomorrow. So guys, make sure you leave that in the live chat as well, and I'll go through that as we progress. So, but yeah, Infectious is saying we want to see Helder Costa and Eddie Bond in the start. You know, we want to see them start a game and have that format partnership for the full 90 minutes. And I think that would be good to see, of course. We had that against Salford. We absolutely destroyed Salford in the end through that Costa and Ketty understanding. I think they've both been involved in 2 goals together. The one against Salford, the first goal, and pretty much a carbon copy of the goal against Brentford. Helder Costa crossed the ball in first time with his left foot, and he creates a chance for Eddie and Ketia, and it's just fantastic to see, and hopefully we start with that as well. But yeah, a lot of 2-0 predictions. Trev is going for a 2-0 as well. But yeah, guys, talking about Stoke to start with, because Swansea game, of course, is still next Saturday. It's actually not that far off, but obviously the immediate game is Stoke. But again, some absolutely unbelievable sport. A lot of people from Australia are joining us in this chat. So guys, sorry about the cricket yesterday. Sorry about Ben Stokes yesterday. But you know, I mean, what a series that's going to be, isn't it? You know, the Ashes. What a final 2 tests that's going to be. That's the first 4 out of have in my head. It will be a pretty incredible last 2 tests. But yeah, absolutely top class support, guys. Absolutely top class support. At least Leeds are doing well. That's the main thing. At least Leeds are doing well. But yeah, Blaze Dragon. Hello, Oscar, mate. How are you feeling about Saturday? What's your prediction? I think Saturday, I wouldn't say I'm nervous. You know, that's something I don't want to be. I'm not going to be at all this season, because I think after the way last season finished, there's nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear from any team in this league. There's nothing to fear from any game. We've got to, we've got to be at our top level. That's the thing. You know, we know absolutely rubbish that we need to be nervous or there's any pressure on this game. We're in August at the end of the day. We are in August. So, look, it's a big game, but we've got to be at our best. You know, last season, you know, of course, in some of the big games at home, we turned up absolutely fantastically well. West Brom, you know, obviously sticks in the minds. Derby sticks in the mind as well. You know, the Derby league game at home. But too often last season, in the home games against the big teams, against the top teams, we struggled. We didn't perform. We didn't get the result. And, you know, that's not going to be good enough this season. We have got to win games like this. That's absolutely 100% got the mentality, or at least not lose. You know, last season we lost those games. Not only did we not win it, we lost the game. And then at the end of the day, if you lose the game, it's a 6-point swing. You know, it's a 6-pointer. That's where the old cliche comes from. But in terms of prediction, you know, I'd obviously have to have a little bit more of a look at Swansea. Going to do quite a bit of a analysis of Swansea before the game. But yeah, from what I've seen of Swansea, I think Boya Baston is a very, very threatening player. I think it's a big part of the game is going to be decided between Baston versus Ben White. I think it's going to be a massive battle. I think the wingers have performed really well for Swansea. And yeah, I think defensively they look pretty solid as well. So they're a good team. And I think it's just going to be a tight game, to be honest, mate. I think it's going to be a tough game. But we can't go with any fear. You know, if we play anything like the levels we played with against Stoke in that second half, I think we win the game. I'll be honest, I think we win the game, absolutely no doubt about it. But can we? That's the thing. You know, we have to consider Swansea are in much better shape than what Stoke are at the minute. So it's going to be very much a different kind of battle, a different kind of test and that lot. But yeah, it's difficult to give a prediction. I'd like to think we can win this game. I think we have to win this game, to be honest, to keep that momentum going, keep that momentum building, and just to try and build an early lead between ourselves and third place. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not bothered between first and second. It's all about first to third for me. But yeah, I mean, as Gail Dale just said, surprised Swansea doing so well. I didn't fancy Swansea that much this season. I thought they were going to be mid-table again, a bit similar to what they were last season. But they've done a lot better. I think Steve Cooper's had a good impact there. They've lost 2 big players in Ollie McBurney and Dan James, 2 big attacking players, but they've replaced them really well. So you have to say fair play to Swansea. But this is still a grudge match. Let's not forget what happened with that Dan James business. You know, it's a bit of a grudge match, this. You know, for that reason, of course, both teams at the top end of the table. It's going to be a feisty game. I really do think there's not so much a bitterness from us, but there's a certainly I think from obviously Victor Orta and Andrea Radrizzani, Angus Kinnear. You know, there's a strong feeling against Swansea, and I don't absolutely no blame for that at all. You know, Swansea absolutely did us over. You know, and it's simple as that. That's what happened. And we've got to make sure we go in with that kind of siege mentality against them. Let's not have any fear. You know, they should be fearing us at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, let's not forget it was them who, you know, if we got Dan James last season, who knows? But, you know, I'm not one to go look back at the end of the day, but I might just look back then, to be honest. Leather sandals, you're looking rough, Joe. It's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. Andrew Saxon. Good day. Oh yeah, Andy Saxon. Sorry, just trying to work out Andy Saxon. Oh, yeah, Andrew Saxon's from. Andrew Saxon, also from Australia. Top supporter of the channel. Good day. Can only spare 20 minutes. About to finish night shift. Unbelievable, that unbelievable support for the channel. Unbelievable. I mean, what time it is in Australia at the minute? I'm not too sure. I'm not even going to guess, but absolutely unbelievable support. And then, of course, a lot of love for Pablo Hernandez's pass. There's been about 4 or 5 different people mentioned it. Leeds TV's mentioned it. Super LUFC. And Super LUFC. Flipping heck. Pablo could find my dad with a through ball, and I haven't seen him in 10 years. Wow. But look, let's just be honest here. Pablo Hernandez, what a player. What a player. The moments he produces in football matches, he produces moments like that. He hasn't been at his best to start the season off with in terms of his whole game. Hasn't been at his best, but what a player. What a player. You know, to have, you know, I mean, I do think we need to manage his game time a bit better. I think, of course, he won the game against Stoke, but I certainly wouldn't want him involved at all tomorrow. You know, I don't see any reason to involve him tomorrow, even if we lose the game. I'm not bothered. I'm honestly not fussed if we lose the game. I don't think the League Cup, the only purpose I think the cup competition will serve for us this season is to give, you know, the academy players chances, the fringe players chances, players to get chances to get back to full fitness. You know, obviously like Liam Cooper, Barry Douglas potentially, Luke Ayling, Tyler Roberts maybe in the next couple of months or weeks. But yeah, it doesn't serve much of a purpose to me. But I think just the quality of Hernandez's passing, the quality of Hernandez overall. I mean, he is for me the best attacker in the league in terms of creativity. He gets goals. He creates goals. It's just all-round contribution, consistency of his contribution. Not necessarily in terms of performance, because sometimes Pablo is quiet, but that is where you can tell a top player. You can have a poor 89 minutes, and then he just produces a moment, you know, in the last minute of a game, or you know, that doesn't matter to me. If a player's quiet for 89 minutes, as long as they produce that one moment of quality, I'm fine with that. And Pablo Hernandez guarantees you that. And for that reason, for me, he is the best player in the league. He is the best player in the league for me. I don't normally make kind of comments like that, to be honest, but I do genuinely think that. You know, I do 100%. You know, when you see, I don't think any other player in the league could have produced those 2 assists for the first goal and the third goal. I've heard this one a few times, to be fair, on Bernardo Silva, to be fair, that Super LUFC's just popped up with their Pablo Hernandez could find space in a bed with Gemma Collins. I've heard that one a couple of times, to be honest. I'm pretty sure someone has mentioned that on one of Joe's videos before as well, but it is quite true, isn't it, to be honest? I mean, it's just the quality. I mean, it's Premier League quality, that assist. You know, it's top world-class quality, that, isn't it? Let's be honest. I'm not saying Pablo's world-class. I'm just saying those in particular moments, no one else in the league produces those for me. That particular moment. And that makes a massive boost in games. And I think for Stoke, yeah, the way they pushed the full-backs high, we kept finding that space in between the centre-back and the wing-back. And it was too easy for Pablo. You can't give Pablo kind of spaces like that to attack. And that's what happens. And luckily for us, the goals went in. And we probably could have had more, to be honest. I've just lost a track of thought there on the comments. I need to get myself back in. Rudy LUFC makes a good shout for Liam McCarron. I would like to see Liam McCarron on the bench potentially. Looked very impressed with him in pre-season. I think he played 2 games. I think he came on as a sub. At York, he definitely came on as a sub. And when we made the sort of like change the whole 11 for the last half an hour at York, McCarron was the one who stood out for me. You know, a left winger, left-footed, direct, takes on his man, pacey. And yeah, I think there's plenty of improvement for him to have, but I think he looks a real promising player. Maybe having him on the bench tomorrow, depending on how the game goes. Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, looks a very promising player. I've not seen any of him in the under-23s as of yet, but I think there's a player with a lot of potential there from Carlisle. Can't remember how much we paid for Liam McCarron, but clearly Victor, Carlos Corberan have seen the potential with Liam McCarron, and I'm more than happy to back their judgment on that. So, the Smiths Elvis. Hi Oscar, I showed some friends in work our goals from Saturday and they say we are a Premiership club in the Championship. Injuries in such a small squad will become a factor. What do you think? Yeah, I think obviously that's always going to be a concern, but let's not forget we have got injuries at the moment. You know, we've had 4 players missing for the Stoke game. Obviously Luke Ayling and Tyler Roberts are quite long-term injuries, but we had Barry Douglas injured, we had Liam Cooper injured, and in our back five, we only had one recognised centre-back. In the whole, only two recognised defenders in Berardi and Ben White. So at the end of the day, I think defensively, and we didn't concede a shot on target until the 76th minute, I think it was. So you have to take great positivity from that. I think obviously injuries will play a factor, but I think something you have seen with Bielsa this season is the tactical flexibility. Not so much with formation-wise, but he will play players in different positions depending on how it suits the game. I mean, we went 2 up top again on Saturday, something we've not done at all during the first sort of 15, 16 months of Bielsa's time here. So I think with that, we can cope with injuries better because we can vary the formation a little bit more. If we have, say, I don't know, 3 centre-backs available, we can adapt to a 3 at the back system. If we have no full-backs available, we can adapt to a wing-back system where we need less sort of defensive awareness as such. We can vary things a bit more because the team he's got now, he's not so much alluded to this, but I do have that feeling that it's a lot more tactically knowledgeable, a lot more sort of, what's the best word for it really? Adaptable. That's probably the best word for it really. We can adapt the tactics to that. And if we have got injuries, look, injuries are going to be a concern, but we've coped with it up to now, which is good to see. A couple of, I'm not even sure what's going on now. I've kind of lost track. I've seen a few dodgy comments on since I've been just sort of rambling there. But yeah, I mean, it does concern me a little bit. Injuries does concern me a little bit, but I think we're better equipped this season. I do think we're better equipped. I'm a bit behind on the comments here. I've been absolutely flooding with your comments, guys, which is absolutely top class stuff, by the way. But yeah, big news as well today is that Ayling and Tyler Roberts, who I've just mentioned today, they're back in training. We've actually seen that on Twitter. Back in training, that's a massive boost. I think Tyler Roberts in particular is a player who we haven't, the type of player we haven't got in the squad at the minute. It's a player who can take the ball quite deep and drive at players and just drive through the middle. Has that pace, has that little bit more pace to the team. I thought Tyler Roberts was probably our best player for the last 2 months of last season. I thought he was absolutely superb at times. I thought he was our best young player last season. And I think, to be honest, I'd go as far as to say I think he's probably one of the best young players in the Championship for me. I really do think he is one of the best young players in the Championship. But as All Things Leeds has just said there, make sure you check out All Things Leeds, by the way, the channel run by Ed, top guy. Make sure you check him out. He's quite rightly said that Tyler Roberts is never really fully fit. That is a concern. But when we did have that 2 months of Tyler fully fit, I thought, wow, what a player. I mean, what a player. You look at the West Brom game, the Millwall game, the Preston away game, Sheffield Wednesday at home. All big games, all big moments in the season when the pressure was on. The pressure was seriously on. And Tyler Roberts stood up to that pressure. He's 20 years of age and he stood up to that pressure. And I think, wow, the performances he produced, the West Brom game, the Sheffield Wednesday game, it was like, it was pretty incredible, what he produced in those games. You're watching it and thinking, some of the stuff he was doing on the pitch, the high pressure on, and it's just nutmegging players. He's just showing that quality and composure as well. I do think we massively missed Tyler towards the end of last season. Obviously the playoffs. I think at the playoffs, if we had Tyler fit for the second game, against Derby, I do think it'd be a different story. I do think he'd have been that player. When we did get a bit overran in the second half, for that 20-25 minutes, I think Tyler Roberts was the player he wanted there. Someone who could get on the ball, drive the ball forward, and just move Derby back, force Derby back a little bit when they were sort of building a bit of momentum. So I do think he'll be a massive boost. Of course, Luke Ayling as well. Luke Ayling's a top fullback. And it's going to be a really interesting battle. There's a couple of comments come in just as I was talking then about would it go Luke Ayling or would it go Stuart Dallas. Now that's a really interesting one because Stuart Dallas has been absolutely sensational since he went to fullback really, since the middle of April. He's been absolutely sensational. But yeah, Luke Ayling, the way he finished last season, we can't forget that either. But for me, I would keep Stuart Dallas in. For now. I don't want to rush Luke Ayling back into the team. I think certainly at the minute, we're doing well. We just won. Obviously, he's not going to be fit for Swansea, but assuming all goes well against Swansea, it's a big assumption to make. That's a big assumption to make. I kind of regret saying that. But yeah, I think if we win against Swansea, then yeah, I think even after the international break, when Luke Ayling probably will be fully fit, I'd still go Stuart Dallas. But don't forget, we're going to have two games in a week quite soon as well, possibly another cup game. He will get his opportunities. He will get himself back into the team. But Stuart Dallas, I think, does give you that a little bit more going forward. Absolutely no doubt about that. But I think Luke Ayling is the all-round better fullback. I still believe that. I don't think there's many. I think he's the best defender. Well, after the way Ben White started the season, I think he's one of the best defenders in the team. Absolutely no doubt about it. I think the best all-rounders in the team as well, Luke Ayling. I think he's absolutely critical to Marcelo Bielsa's system. I think he's a leader as well. So it's a tough one. But at the minute, I'll go Stuart Dallas ahead of Luke Ayling as well. But Phil Clark thinks 2-1 tomorrow. We beat Stoke. Reece Armitage is giving us a 2-0 prediction for Saturday. I'd take that all day long, Reece. Another clean sheet. Clean sheet as well. Absolutely buzzing with the clean sheets. Is it 4 clean sheets in a row? 2 goals conceded in 6. We've got the best defensive record in the country. You have to be absolutely buzzing with that, considering we've got a lot of defenders out at the minute. I think it's absolutely sensational. It's an absolutely sensational effort, considering how attack-minded we are, to be anywhere near kind of the best defensive stats. Really reflects well on us. It really does reflect well on us, and it's what we're doing on that training pitch. We're getting things consistently well. The balance of the team is perfect. It's not too attacking. It's not too defensive. It's just got that right balance to it. Mark Corley, how far off is Tyler Roberts? There's been a lot of different talks about this. There's been talks about September, talks about October, but he is back in full training. So whether that means 2 or 3 weeks, I don't know. I think you look at potentially that 15th of September, we're playing Barnsley away. I think it's the 15th, it's a Sunday, whatever day is a Sunday. I think it's the 15th. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it is Sunday the 15th, Barnsley away. I do think Luke Ayling and Tyler Roberts could potentially be back for that. But look, that's just purely opinion. That is purely opinion, guys. Absolutely no in the know bollocks or anything like that. That is just just my opinion on that one, guys. So let's have a look at comments. Gibson said MB has to give some of the youngsters a run out tomorrow in the cup. So this is where I've got to now. In terms of talking about team selection, I think it's important, definitely important that we give some of the youngsters an opportunity. I think certainly in terms of goalkeeper, I'd go Elan Meslier. Right back, I'd go Jamie Shackleton. I'd like to see Jamie Shackleton go right back. Obviously, in an ideal world, he'd go to centre mid. But I think in terms of the balance of the squad, I think he's probably going to be more suited to right back in this game. Centre backs, it's an interesting one, but I'd probably give Pascal Struijk a opportunity, or Struijk even, an opportunity, and probably go Liam Cooper alongside him just to get Liam Cooper back to full fitness, or maybe even Berra. Just one of Berra or Cooper alongside him, someone who's experienced and can slot in alongside him. But yeah, I'd probably go for that. Left back, I'd go Leif Davis. I want to see Leif Davis get an opportunity at left back. I'd be massively impressed by Leif Davis. Bielsa's alluded to that as well. Holding midfield, I'd go Alfie McCalmont. I really want to see McCalmont, progress. I think he is probably the potential successor to Calvin Phillips in the future. Of course, because look, the likelihood is Calvin Phillips is not going to be at this football club. Unless we get promoted. Let's be honest now. Unless we get promoted, we can't hold back Calvin for another year. But I just hope that when he does play Premier League football or top flight football, it's with us. But we have to start thinking about that succession plan for Calvin Phillips. And Alfie McCalmont is looking very, very impressive at the minute. On the right hand side, I go Helder Costa. Left hand side, Jack Clark. Through the middle, it's important for me that Mateusz Bogus starts this game. It's important he gets an opportunity. Alongside him, I'd go for Adam Forshaw. Obviously, the temptation would be to play Mateusz Klich alongside him. But I think fitness-wise, just from looking at it, just from sort of using my own eyes on it, I'd say Adam Forshaw looks a little bit sharper at the minute than Mateusz Klich, purely fitness-wise. So I would go Adam Forshaw. Plus Mateusz Klich played the last round. So it's probably, I'd say personally, I'd probably go Adam Forshaw, keeping that 8 role, and he's performing really well. And up front, Eddie Nketiah for me would start the game. So it's still a strong side. It's still a strong side full of pace, athleticism, energy. That's the main thing, energy. And I don't know how many changes that is. That's 9 or 10 changes, I think. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for some players. A fantastic opportunity. I certainly don't want to be risking Ben White, Calvin Phillips, Pablo Hernandez. Jack Harrison, Paddy Bamford. I don't want to be risking any of them tomorrow. I probably would be tempted to not even have them on the bench because I don't care if we lose. I honestly don't care if we lose. I just want the performance and players to, to really make, put pressure on the current starters. It's important we have that competition in the squad. I'd be interested to see how Elan Meslier gets on. I've not seen any of Elan Meslier at all. So yeah, hopefully he'll be starting this game tomorrow night. But let's wait and see on that one, guys. Kiko started the last game. Leeds C, Birmingham were absolutely woeful on Sunday. I saw a little bit of that game. I didn't see much of that game, to be honest. But I thought, I don't think Swansea were massively impressive in the first half. Obviously, all the goals came in the second half. But I thought the difference in quality did tell. I do think that probably played a part in the game. But I don't think I want to take anything away from Swansea. They're clearly a good team. But Birmingham as well, obviously they were disappointed yesterday, to make absolutely no mistake about it. Birmingham were pretty shocking yesterday, but I don't think you should take anything away from Swansea. I think we have got to acknowledge the fact that we're playing a really good team in Swansea. Super LUFC, Dallas has been top class. He looks 5 yards quicker. I think he's really been coached how to play right back, and I think you can tell that. I think he's probably producing his best football for Leeds United. He has shown glimpses at right back, right wing back before, at left back as well. Before he went to full back on the sort of permanent basis when we had the injuries. I think I'm obviously thinking of the Thomas Christensen season. He went to right wing back quite a lot. We went to a back three system at times, and he did well there. He's always shown glimpses, but now he's got that consistency to his game. He's a genuine starter now. I've never really felt the last couple of years that Stuart Dallas has been a starter if we want to progress, but absolutely 100%. He's proven himself at fullback, and he's defensively going forward. He's balanced. He's been our best player so far this season for me. He does look quicker. I think the energy really stood out. Second half against Stoke, he didn't start the game particularly well. James McLean had a bit of luck against him, but I thought, as the game went on, he just looked more and more comfortable. As soon as he scored, he was getting shots off, he was creating chances, crosses into the box, making things happen. I think he's been super, super impressive and become a really key player. I think in terms of the balance of the team, I think it's absolutely critical. He can play anywhere. Stuart Dallas. I think only centre back and goalkeeper is probably the only position Stuart Dallas hasn't played for us at Leeds. I think he's done a job in all positions, and he's been an absolute bargain for what we paid Brentford for him, $1 million, I think it was. He's developed into a top footballer, absolutely no doubt about it. I think what also stands out is the way he dribbles, at the ball into our half of the pitch. I think he does it really, really well. I think he's got that bravery on the ball. I think that stands out. He's got that energy, legs to burst past, the winger who's trying to press him. And I think he shows that every single game now. I think he's been really consistent for us. And it's absolutely fantastic to see as well. Philip Millian makes a fair point as well. Matt Grimes has been playing very well for Swansea. He has, to be fair. I think he's become a key player at Swansea. I think as well, Matt Grimes was Swansea's Player of the Year last year. I might be wrong on that. I'm sure I saw somewhere. I was stunned by it, to be honest. But yeah, he has been their Player of the Year. I think he has really got his head down, and he's fair play to him. Fair play to him. Obviously it didn't work out at Leeds, to say the least. But he's definitely become a key player for Swansea now. So, let's see, any more comments? Matt Grimes, the invisible man, he definitely was invisible for Leeds. He wasn't he, let's be honest. It just didn't work out for him at Leeds. It was one of those signs where you could tell early doors it wasn't working. He played a couple of cup games, he started the odd league game, and you just tell straight away it wasn't quite working, it wasn't quite fitting into the system, and it just didn't happen for him at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, that was a long time ago now. You're talking 3 seasons ago at least, I think. It was 16-17, wasn't it? So yeah, it's those things. I've not really got anything against Matt Grimes at all, to be honest. Andrew Saxton also alluded to the fact that Swansea versus Birmingham, Swansea didn't look particularly special, and Birmingham made them look good. I would say Swansea obviously are scoring goals. They are, I don't think you can fluke that, but I maybe think 3-0 wasn't quite a fair reflection on the game. But at the end of the day, it's all about taking chances, and that's a big sign. I don't think Sheffield United last season at times weren't particularly convincing, but they took the chances, and that's something we have to bear in mind. I think they all got a sort of similar profile too. To Sheffield United from last season. I think it's quite sort of that the underdogs lost a few key players, even suppose similar to kind of Norwich, but yeah, definitely don't think they can be underestimated. Swansea, they are building something there. So, let's see where we're getting on. So, Benjamin Thornton. Why is everyone paranoid about Ben White? Brighton didn't recall him when he was at Newport, Peterborough. Why would they now? They brought 4 centre-halves in the transfer window. So, yeah, Brighton have got plenty of options. Let's be honest. No matter what we think of Ben White, Brighton have got other options. Lewis Dunk, Shane Duffy are the main two. It's a top centre-back pairing that for Premier League football. Then you've got, of course, Adam Webster, who they signed for 25 million from Bristol City. Let's just try and remember his name then. He had a top class season last season. And then Dan Burn as well. So that's 4 centre-backs they've got already. I think there's also probably part of the deal. I doubt, with us having so few centre-backs, I don't think Swansea, Brighton even, could recall him. I certainly hope that is the case. But I think what I'm more worried about is getting Ben White permanently. I think it would be something, even if we get into the January window and we need to make other signings, if the opportunity is there to sign Ben White, I'd do it all day long. Get the permanent deal done for that. Because this is a player who could be worth a lot of money in the future and is a Premier League player, looks a Premier League player already, stands out in everything he does. I think he's just a top player. So I think it's something important that we try and, if we can, get the permanent deal done before the end of this season. For me personally, I think that is the case. Something we need to look at, and something Benjamin Thornton says as well. I'm hoping for a permanent deal after his loan. I think I pretty much caught up with comments there. I'm not even sure why, but there's been mention of Scott Wootton and Cameron Stewart. I'm assuming we're talking about some of the worst players who've ever played for Leeds. I'm just going to nominate Kevin Nichols for that position straight away. I think when we ever think of poor players, he is probably on the first one to think of. The fact he was captain as well. Anyway, guys, that is, I think I've caught up with the chat there anyway, guys. But keep your comments coming in. I don't think there's any football going on in terms of in the league, as far as I'm aware. Michael Brown's been mentioned by Super LUFC. To be fair, I've met Michael Brown a few times. Absolutely top fella. He is a top guy. He had a few good games for Leeds. It didn't work out for him too well. I think he was, obviously, about 35, 36 when he played for us. So he wasn't, in terms of at the peak of his powers, fitness-wise. It was more Neil Warnock making the signing, wasn't it? Let's be honest. But yeah, I don't have anything against Michael Brown, to be honest. Obviously it didn't work out well for him, but he battled every game, and that's a lot more that can be said for some of the players who played for us the last couple of games. There's some games he was really useful in as well for me. It's ability-wise, we didn't see it from Michael Brown, did we? Let's be honest. All Things Leeds has asked me, am I at the game tomorrow? Unfortunately, I'm not at the game tomorrow. I can't get down there tomorrow, which I'm gutted about. But I'm there on Saturday, which is absolutely crucial, really, isn't it? The game on Saturday is a crucial game. Unfortunately, can't get down to the game tomorrow. But I will be there with a post-match review as ever. Having a bit of debate about bad players. Jimmy Kebe's been mentioned. Jimmy Kebe's a fair shout, isn't it? To be fair, Jimmy Kebe, considering what I thought Jimmy Kebe, performance-wise, what he was going to produce for Leeds, it's a gutting one. It's a gutting that one worked out so badly. Sir Paul McCheesewedge, great name by the way. Oscar, if we got into the Premier League, what's the goal? Try and get back into the top 6 within the next 5 years or so. I mean, it depends really. It does depend. It depends sort of like how we get into the league. If we get into the league, because look, it's a long way off. It's still at least 9 months off if we do it this season. So, it's a big job. It's a big ask. I don't want to get too carried away. I think you look at it, I think the first season in the Premier League, you certainly look at Sheffield United. Norwich and trying to think who else went up, and Villa. I think the main aim for all three clubs would be to stay up. Try and finish 15th, 16th, 17th in one of those kind of positions above, obviously, the bottom three. And I think that's probably the main aim for most clubs going up in the first season, is survival. I think other than Wolves last year and the odd team where the budget's big or they already have a really high, particularly high calibre of player, which has probably only really been Wolves in recent years, that is probably the first aim of survival. I think the second season's where, again, I think there's a lot of second season syndrome, but again, survival is probably the main aim. Maybe build up gradually up the table. And then obviously the third season, you're probably looking at mid-table. But yeah, I mean, it has to be the ambition. I think if you go into the Premier League, if you go into any league, you've got to have the ambition to climb it. Whether you climb it straight away or slowly, you've got to have that ambition to climb it. I don't want to go into, if we do go into the Premier League, I don't want to be sort of just surviving season on season on season. We've seen a lot of teams do that. We've got to be going there and trying to build, have a plan, sort of a 4 or 5 year plan to try and build into being a sort of a stable club, and then pushing for Europe. But look, that's a long, long way off, guys. That's a long, long way off. I think in terms of the squad we've got, in terms of the years we've had of, in terms of the foundations have been affected until Rajazani and Victor Orta, Angus Kinnear come along. It's about 15 years of, the academy's not been quite right. In terms of investment into the team's not been quite right. Nothing's been quite right about the club. It's a lot. It does take a long time to rebuild that, and I think it does need Premier League football to fully rebuild that. But yeah, I think it's, as long as we've got a plan, as long as we keep trying to continuously improve, then I'm happy with that. But that has to be the ambition. That has to be the ambition of the football club. To be where it should be. In terms of size of club, we should be a top 10 Premier League club at the end of the day. But we're not. Let's be honest, we've not been that for 16, 17 years. Not been that since 2002. But if we can continuously improve, keep all the Bielsa for as long as possible, then yeah, why not? But yeah, at the end of the day, I do want to go up, but I don't want to be going up just for the purpose of surviving, trying to win 10 games a season, losing games 4-5-0. It doesn't really massively appeal, but as long as we're only doing that for a couple of seasons, I'll be happy. But look, it's a long way off. I'm going to got a bit carried away with that one. Philip Millian, the danger man for Swansea is Selena. Yeah, definitely. He's a really dangerous player. I would also say Boya Baston. I think Boya Baston looks really, really impressive. Top scorer in the league. He's taking his chances, and he's got serious ability. Of course, Swansea paid, I think, 18, 19 million for him a couple of seasons ago. So there's serious quality there. All things Leeds. Are you ever going to get curtains of lines to those windows? I might do. But to be honest, guys, that has just actually reminded me to bring something else up. The next couple of videos, well, going forward, the videos will be different because I have made a new signing, if you like. I'm just going to show you guys while we're live here. A new signing, which is brand new camera. So hopefully, in terms of picture quality, sound quality, should be much improved. I've kind of built another kind of new studio area as well. So hopefully, guys, the quality will look better. There'll be, I won't say this will be the last ever video I'll do in the conservatory, but there'll be a lot less videos in the conservatory anyway. But yeah, guys, watch out for that anyway. It's a Canon G7X, by the way, guys, if you want to know anyway. I would highly recommend it. I've been like a kid at Christmas with it, to be honest. I've been just testing it out, and the quality is absolutely unreal. But yeah, it's would definitely recommend that, guys, for anyone who is looking to film anyway. But that did bring me onto that without mentioning that. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So any other comments there? A couple of comments came flying in then. And Kevin Mailer Ross, Oscar, if we lose to Derby in the playoff semis again, would you just give up? No, I'd never give up. It's it's part and parcel of the game. I think it'll never. The way last season ended will never ever be like that again. It could happen again this season. It'll never be the same feeling as what it was last season. I think last season, the way it happened, the way the hope was there was no sort of thought that we're going to kind of bottle it, which we did. Let's be honest, we did bottle it. But there was no real kind of thought that this season we were aware of what happened last season. To an extent, it was a nightmare, but It can't get any worse, can it? The only way it can get worse is getting relegated. I'd like to think that's not going to happen this season, but you can never tell in the Championship. But yeah, I think that's the only way it can possibly be as bad as what it was last season. But yeah, definitely wouldn't give up. I think giving up was probably being last season. The way last season ended. But luckily the players have got over it quickly. That was the only thing I was a bit worried about, is the speed the players would get over the disappointment from last season. Cameron Borthwick-Jackson's also been listed there in terms of worst players we've had. Tommaso Bianchi's been mentioned as well. All good shouts. Zan Benedici, yeah, all good shouts, to be fair. Sean Wilson, well remember this, to be fair, Sean, well remember this, but where's a cereal in the background? No shreddies tonight. I still can't, I don't know why I did that, on the video once. It was, you're talking probably talking about 6 or 7 months ago there, to be fair, Sean, but well remembered, to be fair. Fair play to you, mate, you remembered that. That was, I can't remember, was it Frosted Shreddies, I think it was. But yeah, it was, but fair play, mate, fair play remembering that, Sean. Tomato Facey, he's eating them, Sean Wilson. Danny, I just lost a comment there. Flying, just lost a comment. Danny B, DJB. I've not been this excited since the Grayson years, and to add, I still hold Jermaine Beckford in high regard, and absolutely 100% on both. I think, I was kind of brought up on the Simon Grayson years. Simon Grayson is still, for me, no matter how much I love Bielsa, until Bielsa achieves promotion, Simon Grayson is still the number one for me in terms of what he achieved, purely on what he achieved at the football club, the belief he brought back to the football club, and then Jermaine Beckford as well. Jermaine Beckford was absolutely sensational. The best finisher we've had in sort of the last 15, 16 years, the best natural finisher, the best at getting himself into goal-scoring positions. Just a sensational player for us, and a player who the myth was that he could only play at League One level, but he could have played it easily at a high level for us. Just a shame we never got to really see the opportunity for Jermaine Beckford getting that chance again with us in the Championship. Of course, it never quite worked out, but look, at the end of the day, I don't think there's any doubt about that at all. Super LUFC, we ain't getting the playoffs this season. We're a different beast. I'd like to think that. I would like to think that. Angus Kinnear, the way he finished off the documentary, was the classic line of, "We're not dicking about the playoffs anymore. It's top 2 next season." That's got to be the case. That's got to be the case. I don't want to be relying on the playoffs. I think if you're going into the playoffs, you're always running the risk. You're always running the risk of not necessarily, because the playoffs at the end of the day, it's not always the best team that wins them. That's not me trying to be salty, but over sort of like 270 minutes, 3 lots of 90 minutes, it's not always going to be the best team that wins them. So there's no guarantees in the playoffs. You could get a poor referee decision, an error like last season defensively, missing chances. It's a risky game. It's a risky game in the playoffs. It's not something we want to be doing, to be honest. Definitely not, to be honest. But at the end of the day, sometimes you don't get a choice. A couple of comments asking what I thought about the documentary. I thought the documentary was absolutely top class. I did think it was absolutely top class, particularly sort of the last couple of episodes. I thought the Dan James episode was good, as heartbreaking as it was. I really liked the way it was covered. You saw absolutely everything on that which you liked. The last episode I thought was really, really good. I think particularly sort of the last 5-6 minutes with Bielsa, following Bielsa around. I thought that was sensational to watch anyway. I think it certainly gives you goosebumps, the Bielsa part of the video. I think as well the West Brom game, the way that was covered really stood out as well. I was impressed with it. It was a different kind of style of documentary to the Man City and Sunderland ones, and the Salford City one as well. I think it was a different style. I think it was less sort of like in the dressing rooms watching what was going on. I think it was more of an educational one. I think it was more of a motivational kind of documentary, and it was a good watch. I'd be interested in what non-Leeds fans thought about it, but I've seen some good comments off non-Leeds fans about the documentary, being impressed by it. That's probably the best people to sort of ask, in terms of thoughts on the documentary anyway. But yeah, it's an interesting one. But that Dan James thing was probably the hardest thing to watch, to be honest, on the documentary. But it was really well covered. Let's be honest. Kevin Mailer Ross, Phil Hay should be manager after Bielsa. It's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. Big Phil will do a top job, I'm sure. He's certainly. I don't think anyone knows more about Leeds United than Phil Hay. Let's be honest. He's covered this football club for so many years and done a fantastic job as well. I don't think there'd be anyone who knows more about Phil Hay than Leeds. Let's be honest. He is Mr. Leeds at the minute, isn't he? Top guy. Does a top job on Leeds football media. And he's constantly been the example for anyone producing Leeds media content, including myself, Conor, Joe, etc. Tasha as well. The whole Leeds TV team. He has been the example for a long time. I think it's 15 years now he's been covering Leeds for. He's done an absolutely sensational job. Itaguchi's been mentioned as well. To be fair to Itaguchi, he did play a minute for us, so it would be harsh to mention Itaguchi for me. All things Leeds. Thoughts on the red kit they were thinking about releasing? Blimey, you've reminded me of that now. That was a close. That was it. Luckily, at the end of the day, that was a potential disaster avoided. That's just glad we avoided that disaster. To be honest, that could have been really bad. It would have been really bad if that had happened, but it didn't happen. So we have to be glad about that anyway. Sean Wilson, it's too early to tell. As we all know, the Championship is majorly competitive and we will drop points. I believe that this will be the biggest test to see if we can be resilient. And that is the thing. We have got some tough games coming up. Obviously, Swansea at home. Barnsley away is going to be a tough game. I think it's Derby at home after that. That's a tough 3 games, that. It is a tough 3 games. It's going to be a big 3 games. Obviously, got the international break in between it. But I think, to be fair, the international break comes at a good time this season for us. It allows Luke Hayden to come back in. Tyler Roberts, Barry Douglas, potentially Liam Cooper as well. All the players that are out at the minute, we have them back for Barnsley. And I think it does come at a good time for us. We've had a lot of games. I think it'll be 8 games before the international break. We've got obviously another 2 beforehand as well. It's going to be 8 games we've played since the start of August. So it's been a busy month. It has been a busy month. 8 games in a month is a tough ask. And at the minute we've come through it. If we can get another 2 wins before the international break, absolutely brilliant stuff. But I do think it's come at a good time for us. Definitely, absolutely 100% anyway. Sir Paul McCheese Wedge, to be honest, I still think Sunderland Till I Die was the best one. For me, to be honest, mate, I think the Man City one is just absolutely next level. I think that's absolutely, in terms of considering the success of the club, to get that kind of inside kind of like access, absolutely sensational. Obviously, Pep Guardiola, I think, is along with, obviously, I don't want to be disrespectful to Marcelo Bielsa. For me, Pep Guardiola is the best manager I've ever, in terms of my sort of generation, I think I've seen. I think he's an absolutely sensational manager, and then you get to see, the ins and outs of the club and that. But it's been a while since I've seen that one, to be honest. So I can't remember it entirely, but it was a good one, that. But that's probably one of the best I've seen in terms of documentaries. But they're all good in their own way. I think the Leeds one's good, but it's just a different kind of style. It's a different kind of style. And that's what I'd say on that anyway. Super LUFC. Russell Crowe was narrating our documentary. I'd rather have had Chris Finch as a fair shout. Ralph Enison, what a guy, to be fair. I mean, he's just got the most inspiring voice I think you'll ever sort of hear. I mean, he is just like, he probably would have been perfect for the job, to be honest. I don't want to disrespect Russell Crowe, but I think Ralph Enison, that's a fair shout. Probably would have been a better shout for that one. But I think just Finchy, to be honest. He'll never get old. I don't know how old The Office is now, but his character is probably one of the goats, to be honest, comedy characters, isn't it? To be honest, Chris Finch, Finchy. Casper Slott's been mentioned as well, in terms of most disappointing players. Kevin Hurd's been mentioned. But Amigo says we need to rest all the first team players for the Stoke game. In my opinion, I don't think we can though. I think obviously we have got the injuries. I think it would be tough to drop absolutely everyone. But I think we can certainly make 9 or 10 changes. That's the absolute minimum. The absolute most I want to see playing is 2 of the current starting 11, which would probably have to be Adam Forshaw and Liam Cooper or Berra. But yeah, I'd agree with that. As many players not playing this game as possible tomorrow for me. If we get beat, we get beat at the end of the day. But I still think we can beat the team with what we've got there as well. Paul Green's been mentioned as well. But yeah, guys. Anyway, guys, let's big mention of the documentary about Popey's commentary of all things Leeds. Yeah, I think Popey. I personally would have liked to have been the original commentary on the game. I think it is difficult, definitely in terms of commentating on anything really, recreating the moment as it happens. It is tough, but I thought still Popey did a good job on that. I thought the commentary was good. But it's difficult to find anything really to criticise too much on the documentary. But yeah, I'd think it probably would have been better with the original commentary, but that's just my opinion on that one anyway, guys. But yeah, I think it was still top anyway. Amigos, Ben White should rest over Cooper because he didn't play the last match. Yeah, I mean, for me it would be Berra or Cooper. I think probably I'd want to see Liam Cooper starting on Saturday if he's fully fit. So I'll probably rest him. Thinking about it, the second time around, you think about it, you think if Liam Cooper's just come back from injury, do you want him playing 2 games in 5 days, which is potentially what the situation could be? It just depends how fit Cooper is. It really does depend how fit Cooper is. If he's not fully fit, I wouldn't want to see him to playing 2 in 5 days. But if it is a case of he's coming back from injury, and he needs to get to build up fitness, then maybe do it that way. But for me, I'd probably go Berra just to make sure Cooper can play that game against Swansea, because that's a crucial game. I would want Ben White and Liam Cooper, the defensive rocks of the team, who statistically are the best defenders in England at the moment. So yeah, I would want that to be the case. Paul Connolly, a game set and match. Oh no, Paul Connolly. Oh, not great. I think it's when we had that bad time with right backs. Bad time with right backs. The Smiths, Elvis, Lee Hicks, the director of Take Us Home, said there was copyright issues with the original documentary. There's an interview with Lee Hicks on the All Leeds Stats podcast. Make sure you check that out. It has just come out today or yesterday, I think it was. I've not been too up to date with Twitter the last couple of days. Been a little bit busy in my own personal life, so I do apologise for that, guys. But that's interesting. That, to be fair, if that is the case, then fair enough. Tamar Facey, worst ever Leeds manager now. But yeah, a lot of negativity tonight, guys. A lot of negativity, to be fair. But yeah, there'll definitely be a lot more bad ones than good ones anyway over the last couple of years. But yeah, guys, I mean, looking ahead, you look at it at the minute, in terms of who's your player of the season be so far, that'd be something I'd be interested in. In terms of what would your top 3 be so far this season. If you just make sure you get your comments in, guys. We'll be interested in what you think of that. If anyone, who's probably been the most unexpected kind of star this season so far, who has performed well, who you probably weren't expecting to perform so well. I think you certainly look at a lot of the squad. I think Stuart Dallas, I was amazed. He's produced the standards. He's maintained the standards really. Even in pre-season, he's maintained the standards. Lee Cox has come in straight away with Kiko, Dallas and White. He's gone for the entire kind of defensive unit. I think certainly Kiko might be an interesting call. But Kiko, I think, since the first game of the season has been solid. He's done very little wrong. We've only conceded 1 goal since then, which definitely wasn't his fault. I think Kiko is starting to look more and more solid by the game. Certainly have Dallas and White, that'd be my top 2. That's definitely a fair shout. Bamford, I think, has definitely got to be up there as well. I think probably would be Dallas, White and Bamford for me personally. Shout outs to Adam Forshaw as well. KP, got to mention KP as well. Bamford as well is getting credit off Carter Millthorpe. Michael S as well mentions Bamford too. And there hasn't been a bad player for us this season. Absolutely no doubt, there's not been a bad player at all for us so far this season. No one's been stand out. They've all been good, which is good. That is a good thing. I think no one's particularly massively stood out. They've all been at the same kind of levels. I think they all have been at similar levels. I think absolutely everyone in this 11 has been at a similar kind of level. In terms of consistency, producing good performances. It's great to see. I think obviously shout out to the away fans as well. As Lee Cox says, I think the away support this season has been sensational. As I said there on Saturday, I was there against Wigan. I think it's just unreal. I don't think I'll ever get the Gaetano song out of my head now. It's a great song, to be fair. It's a great new song. But there's definitely a need for a Ben White song. Absolutely 100% a need for a Ben White song. I hope that's going to come soon. But if anyone does have any suggestions for a Ben White song, then feel free to put them on the chat. And we'll read out any good ones. Danny DJB. I love Kiko. He's a boss in my eyes. I think Kiko's starting to get close to those levels he was at the start of his Leeds career. I think from Jan to sort of April, I thought Kiko was untouchable. I thought he was absolutely solid. He was solid, wasn't he? Let's be honest, he was solid for those first 4 months. He made a couple of errors towards the back end of the season, of course, in the playoffs as well. He made an error. I do think he's starting to get to those levels. He's not making many mistakes, which is the main thing. I want a goalkeeper who doesn't make many mistakes. That is key. I think he's starting to really show that presence. I do want that presence. All I want from a goalkeeper is just 7 out of 10 every week. Just 7 out of 10 every week. Nice and solid. Don't necessarily have to save every shot. Just keeping the defence calm, and that's something I want to see more of. Off Kiko, I think he's starting to show that more. I think he's definitely starting to mature in his performances. He's not going for every ball. He's judging things well, and he's just the concentration's there. Definitely, I think that's something I was a little bit concerned with. I think concentration-wise, it's been the odd issue there, but I think it's definitely something that's improved. So it's good to see. Don't want to get too carried away yet. It's only been a couple of games, not been massively tested. Let's be honest, it hasn't been massively tested the last couple of games, which is testament to the defence. I definitely want it to be the case. I think we've just got to try and maintain that, try and protect Kiko as well as we can. I think his best game was probably against Wigan. He made that top save with the free kick. He went for every ball. He made every ball, which is the main thing. And I think that's massively key for me. See any other comments? Patrick Gibbs is watching from Barbados. I'm massively jealous, to be honest, Patrick. But when you say next bit, when the hurricane arrives, I'm not so jealous, to be honest, Patrick. But absolutely top support, Patrick. I'm not sure what time it'll be in Barbados, but fantastic support anyway, Patrick. I'm sure you're having a good time in Barbados anyway. Away days are the best, as Demar Facey says. Away days are top class. It's just the only trouble is getting tickets for away days sometimes is sometimes tough, but the away days are absolutely top class. Bone No Hewson said we still need insurance cover at centre back if Ben White gets targeted by opposition. It would be nice to have another centre back option, but I think Bielsa has gone with the 3+1 kind of squad method. We've got 3 natural centre backs in Berardi, Cooper, and Ben White, and of course KP who can fill in. And then you have as well got Luke Ayling, Leif Davis who can fill in centre back as well. So it's not a massive concern, but it would be nice if we did. Potentially in January, if we are getting a bit stretched squad-wise, we could bring in another centre-back. Of course, we can't do anything about it now, but maybe as time goes on, it might be something we might need to address. It didn't really affect us too much last season when we had 3 centre-backs in Pontus. In fact, someone just reminded me as well, to be fair, someone did ask me before about Ben White or Pontus Jansson. I think, to be honest, I made it quite clear in the post-matches that I think Ben White suits the system better. I think even if Ben White has maybe got a long way to go to sort of reach sort of Ponce's, sort of like standing, if you like, I think at the minute you'd definitely take Ben White all day long. Absolutely 100%. You take Ben White all day long. Certainly at the moments he would. I think Pontus was at fault for the goal on Saturday. I'm not calling out Pontus, he's a top defender, but Ben White I think is just levels above. But he's a couple of years younger. Well, I say a couple of years younger, I think he's about 7 or 8 years younger. And yeah, I think Ben White I've been massively impressed by. I think he's a top player. But yeah, I'd go Ben White, to be honest, quite comfortably at the minute. But yeah, I think that's definitely the case anyway. Any other comments to read? Harry V, am I going to the game tomorrow? And if so, what stand am I in? Unfortunately, I'm not at the game tomorrow. I can't get down to the game tomorrow, which is gutting. It's the first home game I've missed for a while, to be honest. It's, I think, certainly this calendar year, it's the first home game I've missed. I think I missed one. I think I missed Ipswich last season at home. It's probably the only game I missed in terms of home games last season. So I'm gutted about that, but it's one of those things anyway. Amigos, everyone stop talking about the P words. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm 100% behind that. I've got a bit of stick for saying that, but there's no need to talk about promotion or anything like that. Or top 2 or champions. There's no need for that at the minute. It's still only August. It's a long way to go. We can enjoy the season at the minute. We can enjoy what we're doing at the minute. Like the first half of last season, I enjoyed that first half of last season. The second half of the season got stressful. The game started to mean something real. It got just more and more pressure as the games went along. And, we got too caught up in that promotion word last season. Even on the documentary, you saw to an extent that was the case. There was a lot of talk about the pressure. You can't be thinking about the pressure. The pressure is just one of those things. It's there every single game. I know obviously it gets tougher as the season goes on, but you just got to enjoy your football. You got to do the same things you've done for 9 months at the end of the day, or 10 months or whatever. It's just not something that I get caught up in, to be honest. It's something that definitely don't want to get caught up in this season. Until we're actually confirmed or not confirmed, it's not something to talk about for me. I think it's just game by game, take it game by game, and be patient with it. I think even first half of the season, if we can get another good start to the season, similar to last season, I'll be happy. That's the main thing for me. Amigos, hope we get Chelsea if we beat Stoke in the cup. That'd be a tie and a half, that wouldn't it? Frank Lampard coming back. I did have a dream, to be fair, that Frank Lampard will be coming back to Welling Road at some point. But yeah, it'd be interesting what happens this season. And yeah, it'd be a good game, Matt. It would be a good game. Sir Paul McCheesewedge. So we lifted the Championship trophy at Pride Park. It's I saw that. I did see that on the fixture list, and it does play on your mind, that kind of thing, doesn't it? Those kind of things. But I'd be happy if it's a last minute win against Charlton on the last day of the season. It doesn't really matter to me how we do it, just as long as we do it. As long as we do it, that's the main thing for me. But yeah, I mean, in terms of playing a big club in the next round, it's one of those things. The temptation then does turn on to, do you play more of your first teamers? And I'm not really fussed about it, to be honest. I literally can't care about the cups. At the minute, the situation we're in at the moment, maybe if we did get into the Premier League, or if we weren't doing as well in the league, I would be more bothered about it. But even last season, I wasn't really too fussed about it. I think in some ways it's a good opportunity to get the fringe players in, academy players, get players minutes, players who have been injured minutes as well. But I'm not really fussed about the cup competitions, to be honest. Really can't get myself excited about them, to be honest. But yeah, it's part and parcel of the game, I think, for top end championship clubs. But guys, it's just keep your comments coming in, keep them flowing in. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one, the way the championship's shaping up at the minute. Certainly look at the bottom 3: Stoke, Huddersfield, and the third team, Wigan, is the 3 teams. It's surprising. I think it is surprising. I think certainly Stoke and Huddersfield, it's surprising at the moment that they're both in there, but I think it just shows the competitive nature of this league. I think it does show how good this league is. In terms of, there's not much difference in quality between the teams. The games are tight. The games are really tight. I know, of course, The game on Saturday wasn't particularly tight, but it's such an interesting league, isn't it? The results are strange at the moment. There's no real logic to them. Certainly, Fulham getting beat by Nottingham Forest. Let's be honest, Forest haven't had a great start to the season performance-wise, but it shows there's some good teams in this league. Let's not make any mistake about it. I think the league is shaping up. I think all the leagues in England are shaping up at the moment. But yeah, I think so at the top end of the table, you're seeing what's happening. You're seeing that there's points are being dropped. No one's got a 100% record at the moment. The fact we're 2 points clear of third already shows that what we're producing at the moment is good enough. It's good enough. I think obviously Charlton have been a surprise package, but if we can sort of maintain these standards the next couple of weeks, we start to build a lead there for me. I think everyone's going to be dropping points, and if we can kind of keep that consistency, definitely, it definitely gives us a chance of building a lead again. Something we did last season, but never quite felt comfortable with the lead. I think we had the most we ever had was a 6-point gap. That should be enough. Of course, it should be enough, but we can get that lead built nice and early doors, get a bit of confidence, and then it would be interesting. Kevin Mailer Ross, Oscar, you can't put logic and the Championship in the same sentence. You absolutely can't. You can't put it in the same sentence. Niall McPhillips, where's the best pub before match on Saturday? Over from Ireland. There's so many, Kevin. There's Niall. There's the Peacock. I recommend. I would probably personally recommend the Peacock. There's Billy's Bar. There's Shooters in town in city centre as well. I'm trying to think of the other one. There's the Corinthian as well in town as well. I think I've met Conor in there a few times. The White Hart as well, which is a little bit further on than the Peacock. It's more. I think it's actually in Beeston. It's technically in Beeston. The White Hart. The White Hart's good too. It's that again 10-minute walk tops from the ground. Yeah, there's a lot now. There's a lot. I'd probably personally go for the Peacock in terms of how close it is to the ground. Couple of mentions of the Dragon. I've never been the Dragon actually, to be honest. I've heard of it though. Scarborough Taps is good too, to be fair. And yeah, to be fair, we get a lot of pub recommendations here. But yeah, Leeds is just class for pubs. It is absolutely class for pubs. So you won't be, even after the game as well, if you go into the city centre, you've got plenty of good pubs as well. But yeah, make sure you keep recommendations coming in for Niall anyway, guys, as we go along. Any other comments here? Just going to read a couple more comments, guys, and I'm going to leave you guys to it anyway for the rest of your bank holiday Monday night. I'm assuming there's a lot of you guys back in work tomorrow. But yeah, I hope you've had a good bank holiday weekend anyway. The weather has been absolutely unreal here. We hit 31 degrees yesterday, which is pretty sensational. Not a bad bank holiday Sunday at all. But any other comments? A couple more comments I can read before I go off here. Would I miss the Championship? I mean, it's one of those. I think it's a tough one. I know a lot of teams, a lot of fans from teams who've gone up from the Championship to the Premier League have said in the first season. I think it's a couple of Brighton fans I know actually. To be fair, who've said it's just not the same. You've gone from winning most of your games to losing most of your games. It's not easy. It's a strange obsession, really. You go from winning games, being top of the table, to then getting promoted and then back towards the bottom end of the table. But it's seen as better being at the bottom end of the table. It's just the way the Premier League is. It's the prestige of the competition. I would miss the Championship in some ways, but I won't miss the stress of it. I really wouldn't miss the stress of it. Definitely not. It's one of those. The Championship's a great league to be involved if you're a neutral, if your team's not involved in it. But if you're one of the 24 teams, a fan of one of the 24 clubs, it's a horrible league, isn't it? It's especially when you're at the top end of it anyway. But yeah, I would miss it in some ways. But I definitely still watch the Championship if Leeds went out there. Definitely watch the highlights every week. You don't, when you've been in it for 15, 16 years, you don't suddenly lose interest just because you got promoted. But that's a long way off. Let's be honest, that is a long, long way off. But guys, I'm gonna leave it there anyway, guys. I'm gonna leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed it anyway, guys. But yeah, it's an opportunity tomorrow for the young players. Make sure you check out Conor's preview of the game. Tasha will also be doing the fan cams. and myself, Conor and Joe will be doing post-match reviews too, and of course the Swansea preview too. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've just seen some news about Joe Rogan there. I hope there's nothing too... I'm not going to... That looks really bad if that is the case. I hope... I don't want to comment on that in case that isn't the case, Joe Rogan, but obviously the thoughts of everyone at ALTV TV, etc., for Joe Rogan if that is the case. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan anyway. But that is horrendous. That is horrendous if that is the case. But he's a top comedian. But that is really worrying if that is the case. But hopefully, we should find out more about that as the night goes on. But guys, sorry to end it on a bad note there. Just saw the comment come in. But guys, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Anyway, but yeah, that's horrendous news if that is the case for Joe Rogan. But guys, I've done a decent enough job filling in for Joe Wainman. Obviously, the main man is back next week. You will have the main man back next week, next Monday. But guys, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Anyway, see you later.